Hey guys, today I'd like to talk to you about a very profound experience I had back in 2018 when my grandmother passed away. And I have spoken to quite a number of people about this experience, and I've been told many times that on that journey with her, that I actually experienced astral travel. And so today I'd like to just have a chat about it and tell you my experience. And I'd love to hear if you've had an experience similar. I've listened to a lot of talks that talk about near-death experience, and people basically explaining or describing very similar experiences. And so I thought I'd share it with you today. Back in 2018, my grandmother became unwell with a very rare blood cancer, and she didn't. She always fought to be here. She was, loved life, enjoyed her time here. She was a wonderful woman, and when she did finally go into a coma, she was there for 9 days without food or water, and as a child, I grew up calling her Nine, and I never knew why. And I guess I found out on the day she passed away that quite possibly that's why I called her Nine. Uh, so 9 days, no food, no water. But when she was in the hospice, uh, I was holding her hand, and I stayed with her for the 9 nights that she was in there. And I'd go to sleep at night and I'd hold her hand. And it was a really beautiful time, even though we couldn't communicate physically. I felt like we still could communicate spiritually. And she was always my biggest teacher. And so I think it was the seventh night that I was there. I was holding her hand going to sleep. And I wasn't quite asleep, but I wasn't awake. I was just in that sort of about to go to sleep, I guess deep meditation. And I felt myself, even though not my physical body, but I felt myself sit up out of my body. And I turned and I dove into a tunnel. And this tunnel was very similar to how they draw time and space, or black holes, with the lines that go around and whatnot. I'll put a little video up showing you what it looks like. And I dove in head first. And in the beginning, I was just sort of, flying along through this tunnel, and there was lots of turns and zigzags and whatnot, and it was amazing. And the lines in there were sort of, if you think about the lines on the road, they're so far apart, it's really easy to, you can sort of, if you needed to, if it was a wall and then not a wall, where the line is and then not a line, it was sort of like that I felt like I could hop out easily. And I was going through this tunnel, getting faster and faster. And I thought how exciting it was because I was going so fast, and I couldn't comprehend the speed, but it was so free. It was just such an incredible experience. And so here I am thinking, it sort of felt like a roller coaster. And I thought, this is amazing. And I flying through that. And all of a sudden, when I realized the lines that felt like they were meters apart now felt like they were just millimeters apart. And I started to think, wow, I'm going so fast. How am I ever going to get out of here? And all of a sudden, just as I had this thought, I popped out of that tunnel and I was standing in front of a massive being. The being, I couldn't see a face. It was hooded, However, it was just in like a white robe. I guess I'm not religious as such, but I see it sort of, back in biblical times as like a robe that, maybe Jesus or something wore. I don't know. Um, and I was on it felt like a sidewalk back in biblical times that was made of stone, and these massive big stones on the ground, um, and a massive stone walls. And I was a bit taken back by that, and I actually said, "9, where are we?" Um, and I'm not sure. I felt like she was with me, um, and I didn't get a response. And I was looking at this being, and he was huge. I was looking up at him, maybe 10 feet tall, and I then said again, 9, where are we? And I had this uneasy feeling like I wasn't welcome to be there at that point in time. Uh, and then on the third time, I was a bit more panicked because I was feeling as if this being not speaking to me was saying, "You're not supposed to be here." And the third time I said, like, 9, where are we? And then all of a sudden, that third time, uh, I felt like I was flung from the roof straight down into my body. And I felt the bed shudder. And it was as if I felt like something like I'd come back into my body really like an elastic band, I guess, letting that go. Um, and as I hit the bed, I shook. The bed shook a little, and I thought, what just happened? That, wow. Uh, and it was one of those things where you think, I don't really know what that was. I think it was this. And I would always ask my grandmother with experiences like that, because my grandmother used to tell me about astral travel and uh, where she would, things she would experience. And it was an amazing experience, and I've wanted or I've tried to have it happen again since, and it hasn't happened. However, I know if the time is right and if it's meant to be, it will be. But I do feel that because I was holding my grandmother's hand, that effectively we were one energy. And while I wasn't asleep, but I wasn't awake. It was like that deep meditative state. I do feel that her energy took me on that journey, just basically to say, Mark, I'm okay. I'll always be here. I'm always with you. And it gives me goosebumps thinking back to that day. It's such a beautiful experience. And I asked the ladies at the hospice, I explained to them what happened, and one of the ladies said, "That sounds like you were astral traveling." Um, and I thought, I'm not. I questioned myself. I don't think I can do that. And a few months later, I went to see John Edward, and my grandmother absolutely loved John Edward, and so I went there with my mum, and we went and saw John Edward, and he was actually taking questions at the end. And so I put my hand up and was lucky enough to ask him the question and explained what had happened, and just gave him a quick rundown of the story. And he asked me, as I was going through the story of me being in the tunnel, he said, "Is that when I woke up?" And I said, "No, I popped out on the sidewalk." And he was genuinely surprised and said, "Wow, you got further than most." And that really shocked me. He also said that he believed it was astral travel, and that's what I'd experienced. And I thought, I'm so blessed to have had this experience. And I understand, or I totally, my belief is that death is a man-made construct. We are just a being of light, or a soul that has this body for this incarnation, and we learn the lessons we need to learn while we're here, and we've come to fulfill a purpose or learn a lesson and share the love and share the light with everyone. And we all have our own opinions. We all have our own beliefs. Opinions or perceptions are a very powerful thing. And I'm actually going to do another talk on perceptions, and that'll be coming up in one of my videos probably next week. And I think to be able to share with you just my experience of astral travel and not feeling welcome when I look at my life as everything is a mirror, I look back to 2018 and think there wasn't a lot of, I didn't fully understand self-love. It was more, I guess, I wouldn't say self-love, I would say was probably more self-care. You know, if you're feeling down, go and have a bath, or go and have a shower, or go and buy yourself something and, you know, put a smile on your face for just a small amount of time. And a lot of people, or in my opinion, a lot of people, and myself included back years ago, and still, I guess, to this day, if I get down, I can find myself, you know, I might go and buy a chocolate bar or go and buy something to sort of think, this is what a fun day. But really, now I understand that everything happens for a reason. And when I'm feeling down, or I see something that makes me feel down, I think I'm incredibly blessed to have my life the way I have it, and the way everything is. And there's no need to be sad. I don't need to take on any other emotion from anyone else. I just need to stay true to me and understand that the only thing that I can control in my world is my emotions. I have no control over anything else, in my opinion. I can't control another person's actions or thoughts. The only person that I can have that control of, I guess, my thoughts or my emotions. And that's a very powerful thing. And I'm very blessed to have, I guess, found the meaning or the understanding of that. That's all I have control over at 42. A lot of people, you know, my grandmother, I used to ask her, what's the meaning of life? And all of these questions. And she would basically say just to learn the lessons, and we come back again. And if we didn't learn the lesson this time, we come back and we learn them again. And so for me to have sort of added to that, I am incredibly blessed. And I'd love to hear about your stories and your experiences. Put them down below in the comments. And I appreciate you for taking the time to listen to my story. And should you have any questions, please also feel free to put them down in the comments. And my name is Mark, and it is my intention to spread love and light and to help inspire others. And if the only person I inspire is me, then my job is done. All I can do is try and inspire others. And I guess for me, that the talk that I did, my very first talk on fear, and I thought if I could help one person just to change their life or their perspective on fear, then that my job is done. And I had the realization that by me posting that video on fear helped me. So therefore my job is done. So please leave your comments down below. Let me know your experiences. If you'd like me to expand on anything more or anything further, I would happily do a talk later down the track. Please like, share, and subscribe because that helps me grow this channel. And I appreciate you. Sending you much love and light, and take care.